What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of On the Pitch. My name is Nathan Scott Torres.
I'm Alex Topete.
And I'm Jason Milanes.
And we are the Mount Sac podcast of sports. And starting off, we want to get right into some Mount Sac football. Guys, they played last Cerritos, and they conquered. They came out with a win. What did you guys think about the past game?
Thought it was a huge win. Rashad White with another showing out party. 12 carries for 142 yards. I mean, the guy's just a beast. And 2 touchdowns. I mean, what else is there to say?
He's definitely deserved of that path to UCLA.
Oh, yeah.
And he's definitely showing it.
Not only is Rashad White balling out, but their other running back, Malachi Thompson, is a beast, averaging 8.5 yards a carry. He had 11 carries for 93 yards. Of course, Rashad White did have those 2 touchdowns, though.
And so Mount Sac did come up with 42-24 win, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah, and on the defensive side of the ball, we had a pick 6, too, by LaVon Barnett. Returned it for 96 yards.
I love those nice returns. Like, I'm always down for an interception.
Oh, yeah.
Biggest player of the game might have been wide receiver Sean Bowden, though. He on 5 catches, he had 117 yards and 2 touchdowns, with his long being 51 yards.
There we go.
That's big time.
Big time deep threat right there.
And so they conquer Cerritos, and upcoming they have who do they play?
San Diego Mesa.
San Diego Mesa. I've never heard of San Diego Mesa.
Yeah, it's a home game, though, for us.
Yeah, so it's going to be played at West Covina District Field.
Yep.
This Saturday at 6 p.m.
Yeah, correct.
6 p.m. is the scheduled kickoff time.
Got it. There we are. Any last insights on Mount Sac football? Anyone you guys are keeping an eye on for this upcoming game?
Nothing in particular. I just think we need to get another dub.
Yeah, let's go into the playoffs strong.
Yeah.
I think the key for Mount Sac is the 2 running backs, both Rashad White and Malachi Thompson. They're both proving that they can handle a workload that is, insane, and they're both doing it together. That's probably why their average yards per carry is so high.
Yeah.
Both of them over 8 yards a carry is ridiculous.
It's pretty good. And definitely have to keep an eye out for those players. All right, should we jump right into some NFL talk?
Definitely.
Or were there any other sports of Mount Sac that we want to highlight over? I know it's not baseball season, that's for sure.
No. I know women's golf is dominant.
Yeah, I usually see on the Mount Sac Twitter page, they have very successful posts in their tee-ups.
I know last year our men's golf team was like the top-ranked community college in Southern California.
That's always good to have a freaking star-studded cast like that.
I know, especially with golf.
Where they can make Mount Sac look really good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give a quick shout-out. This is actually kind of breaking news. About 4 hours ago, Mount Sac wide receiver Dakota Warfield has received an offer to play for Allen University.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations to you, Dakota.
Dakota, there it is. Look at see, like, this is, I think, for the past, couple of years, I mean, that I can think of being aware with Mount Sac sports. Like, there are some people that make a name for themselves. And, the first step is to go to, a bigger college, and spread your wings.
Mount Sac's kind of famous for those, NFL players who jump from Mount Sac to a 4-year and then end up in the NFL.
Exactly.
I mean, Antonio Pierce, Bruce Irvin, Delaney Walker.
Yep. I've always kept an eye on Delaney Walker. I think I've mentioned it here on this podcast, too, before. So that's pretty neat. Congratulations once again, Dakota.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so should we hop over to the NFL?
Let's do it.
Or
Hold
was there
on, really
one
quick.
more?
Speaking of Antonio Pierce,
Okay.
he just retweeted at Sac Sidelines.
Hey.
Really?
Yeah, he retweeted Eric's tweet, Eric Tadeo, who's also
Is
a
that
member
what
of
that
this
text
podcast.
message
Yep,
was about?
He just sent it.
What?
Yeah, member of our podcast. He couldn't make it today, but he's really excited because Antonio Pierce just retweeted our alumni athlete spotlight, which Eric is in charge of. And today we featured Antonio Pierce.
That was pretty epic.
Was it not?
Yeah, that's a nice acknowledgement. Like I know that he does stay pretty active on Twitter. There's a lot of players that stay pretty active on Twitter. That's the way that they can give back and show some love. Like I know what's his name, I know he doesn't play for Mount Sac or anything, but Junior Gillette, like I've talked to him on Twitter before, so it's really cool to have that one-on-one interaction with the players or former players.
Yeah, that small interaction can go a long way.
Yeah.
When they have a big platform like that.
Exactly. And then we know how NFL players can take advantage of that with eyes on Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
And I hear he will be talking to the NFL next Thursday.
Did you guys see his tweet this morning?
I did not.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I
He went crazy.
screenshotted it.
He also had a post
God.
on Instagram.
Tell me what this tweet said. I saw something on the TV while at the gym earlier.
There is a little bit of profanity, so I'll keep that out.
Yeah,
But,
bleep that.
This is
I'll
what he
bleep
said.
it.
Imagine conforming to a system, giving it 100% to see them treat me like this is unfairly. Which, I mean, I don't know if that grammar's correct, but making money off my sweat and blood. F the NFL. I'll never play in that. S. Treat black people the worst. Clear my name and go F yourself. Interesting.
Well, honestly, I feel his anger, but I mean, nothing is going to hold Antonio Brown from saying anything anymore on social media, and that's what we've come to learn. But I've got to say, with Des Bryant recently tweeting that he wants to come back to the NFL, I've actually sit back and overlooked that there is no divas right now. There's no
Not too
divas at
many.
all. It's been very quiet with no Antonio Brown. But you got to think, like, it is kind of odd, like I don't think he's been he's not guilty of anything just yet. It's all alleged, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's all alleged and
So I mean, it's just mind blowing that they're kind of pushing out this star stud.
Yeah, and it's also kind of falls on him, on his shoulders too.
True.
The
You're
way
true.
he acts is, I mean, obviously you can be unhappy and you can voice your opinion, but in relation to like wanting a job back, I don't think this is the right way to approach it. I mean, I wouldn't say like hang back and not say anything, but I mean, he's kind of has contrasting like opinions here. What he's saying, like he's like, I want to be back in the NFL, but then he's saying all this stuff on Twitter. It's like, I mean,
How could
what
you
do
want to?
Yeah, what do you really want?
Yeah. I don't know. There's so much conflict. I mean, what do you think, Alex? Like,
I actually retweeted him at that tweet
Yeah.
that you had just read.
Uh-huh.
I was hoping that he would
respond?
respond because I told him that he sounded like a bitter ex-girlfriend who couldn't get over that she got dumped.
Oh, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
I would love for him to respond to that.
Nah, he's not Kevin Durant. He won't respond.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, he only responds to the good tweets. I've been trying to get him to respond to me for the last 2 weeks.
Oh,
3
yeah,
weeks.
no way.
Nothing.
No.
Well, there was some words said, I believe, by Russell Wilson that he wanted to try to recruit AB to the Seattle Seahawks. Like, no matter what, AB on a team is going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
And like you said, Jason, like, it's on himself. If he's going to act a certain way, then, and the NFL has standards, then let those standards be.
Yeah.
There's nothing that we can do to control him and what he says, especially if it's profanity. In other news, we have open NFL talks. We'll go with some open NFL talks.
Yeah.
Is there anything that right off the back?
Alvin Kamara expected to be back versus the Falcons coming up this weekend. Amari Cooper with that MRI.
Right. He missed practice today, and we're unclear, or the Cowboys, are unclear if he will be playing this weekend against the Vikings. James Conner, Pittsburgh running back, is not expected to play. He's out with a shoulder injury. And David Johnson, Cardinals running back, is expected to play. He was quoted telling reporters that he is definitely playing 100%.
There we
good
go.
news to
It's
hear.
good to see. Yeah, I enjoy watching him play. He's a heck of a running back.
And I was going to say another big name would be A.J. Green. He's actually expected not to play, which is a surprise,
That hurts my heart.
considering all the back and forth that's been going back with Bengals and the media.
And now he's got a setback.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with him, man. I feel like he's been like, oh, he might come back. That's been like the narrative for the last like 3 weeks with this guy. So I don't know. Is it the Bengals medical staff? Is it him? Like, I don't know what's going on really with that situation.
I think they missed a golden opportunity to trade him.
Oh,
They did.
Because
my
if
God,
they were
yeah.
planning on benching Andy Dalton, that just shows they're planning on
Yeah.
blowing it up and rebuilding.
Might as well at
And
this
if he's
point.
injured and I think he's almost 30, right? He's 29,
Yeah.
or is he already over 30?
I'm not sure how old
I'm
he
not
is,
sure.
but
I'm
I
pretty
would
sure
say
he's close
he's
to
getting
his
there.
30s.
I think
Yeah,
he's
he's been in the
30.
league for quite some time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's always injured, so it'd be
Yeah.
hard to completely rebuild just behind him, just around
It's
him.
tough to. I mean, you've got other players like John Ross on your team that you could be executing with, but they're a team that hasn't won a game yet, and they're projected right now number 1 pick in the NFL draft. So, whatever you can do to help your team.
Yeah, I think honestly they should have unloaded him and get more picks. At this point, it's like just build your team. What's the point?
Exactly. We've seen how valuable top talent at the wide receiver position has become.
Yeah.
Just this year alone.
Exactly.
So they did miss a key opportunity.
And now with the injury, it can get worse, and that's gonna lower his stock.
Andy Dalton being benched lowered his stock.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do because they completely mishandled what they should have done with their star players.
1,000%.
And who knows, like you said, what if the medical staff, now that, they probably know he's injured to a point, maybe they won't be giving him enough care,
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of medical staff, if we jump on the Washington Redskins topic here, with Trent Williams put on, what was it he was put on?
It was the non-injured football reserve list.
Yeah, I've never heard of that list before until today, or most recent when I heard about his, situation. But I just think, for sure, Twitter is on fire in the Washington Redskins community. People are upset, and people are kind of like scratching their heads a little bit to what to say, because this whole time we thought Trent was just sitting on the sidelines. Obviously it was an injury issue, but we didn't know it was that serious to where it was an issue with cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people are just seeking Bruce Allen's firing.
Yeah, I mean, for the medical staff to not notice it is kind of questionable. It's like, how did you guys not catch this? But it's like a lot of people are saying, why didn't he see an outside doctor? But it's like, you're with this team for a extended amount of time. You should think that they should be checking for more than just football related injuries.
Exactly.
Right. Well, the report I believe is that they did notice it,
but
they didn't do enough testing on it, and they just
Okay.
assumed it was a very minor thing.
So they didn't look into it enough.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is probably why he doesn't want to play for them.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trust them anymore either.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when thinking about your health, it's always, I know you're so tight with the team and you got to stick with them, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's something in the contract that says that they're only allowed to see the team doctor, but for me, I remember having a certain issue one time where you do go for a second opinion. You always got to go for a second opinion.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, this is your health, this is your life, and I mean it's a sucky situation, and I really wish Trent Williams the best, because
definitely
he was one of the most effective players on the team since his drafting. So losing him is a big loss, and now we're finding ourselves with Case Keenum on the bench and Dwayne Haskins starting when we come back from the bye against the New York Jets.
Yeah. Also, another football news, Chris Carter isn't a part of Fox Sports anymore. You guys heard about that this morning? Or?
Is this
FS1, first things first, Chris Carter, who hasn't been on the show since October 30th, is no longer with Fox Sports. Fox Sports released a statement earlier today that it just says Chris Carter is no longer with Fox Sports. There is no further comment at this time. But less than an hour ago, former New York Giants defensive end Michael Strahan announced on Twitter through a video that he is officially joining Fox Sports.
Yikes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huge news.
Wow.
That is interesting.
It's a big shift.
It is.
But wasn't he doing the morning show with Kelly or something like that?
That man does a lot of things.
He does
I'm
so
sure he's
much.
going to continue to do that.
Yeah.
He's like the Michael Strahan. He's like the Ryan Seacrest of
Yeah.
former NFL players.
Yeah.
He's a good TV
Spot on.
personality. He's well put together, and he's well spoken too.
True.
And he's
That's
loved by a lot of people. I mean,
A lot.
it's hard to hate him.
I mean,
Unless you're a Redskins fan, but I mean,
I know you know what I was thinking.
yeah, I know, instantly.
He was always one of those players I just couldn't hate.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
smile.
yeah.
Look at his smile. He just looks like a
He
nice
just
guy.
always said the right thing.
Really? As a Cowboy fan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a
You know,
stand-up
I throw
guy.
respect out there for the people who I think deserve respect.
No, I do appreciate his his commentary and the way he carries himself like a Ryan Seacrest, like you said. But in the field, I'll change my mind.
Plus,
Fair enough.
I believe he still is, but he was or still is the all-time sack leader for within a season
For the Giants.
at 20. No,
Yeah.
I believe for the NFL
Oh,
at 20 sacks.
Okay, we'll have to look that one up for
I
sure.
think
Yeah.
so too.
Yeah.
I think did JJ Watt tie him, or did JJ have 19 that one
I
year?
think JJ had 19.
19 or
yeah.
19 and a half or
I
something.
think so. It was
Yeah.
very, very close. Nathan's on the case, Googling that right now.
I know. I want to know.
Really quick, in other news, Gardner Minshew has resumed his role as a backup to Nick Foles. Nick Foles is back from injury, from breaking his clavicle, and will start this weekend.
That'll be interesting to see. Foles was playing, I mean, from the short amount of time that he was playing, he looked pretty good.
I mean, he did get hurt the first game.
Yeah, but that short amount of time during the game, he looked decent. He had one long bomb, I remember.
He did, but I think Gardner Minshew did what every backup quarterback in the NFL, especially young ones, need to do, is take advantage when the starter goes down for any reason, and keep your team afloat.
Yeah.
Kyle Allen has done that this year. Mason Rudolph has kind of done that this year. It's what you need to do, because now those quarterbacks, if the teams don't retain them and stick with the starters they've had, they're going to be worth something on the trade market.
Yeah, you got a chance, too, of being a starter.
Right.
Because you've proven that you can be, like Teddy Bridgewater, too.
It'd be the Jimmy Garoppolo route, back up Tom Brady all those years, then you get thrown in, prove you can handle it.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, Brissett, too.
He did just sprain his MCL, though.
He did.
He
That's
did.
sad.
He's still questionable as whether he'll play this weekend against Miami.
And I picked him up last week in fantasy football.
Low-key, I did, too.
But you didn't play him, though.
No, he was I had a hard time picking between him and Kyler Murray.
I had so much faith in him because Tom Brady was just being ridiculous this past couple weeks.
Do you have Tom Brady on your fantasy team too?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you guys gotta stop. He has not been a good fantasy quarterback the last couple years.
Oh, I have Drew Brees, who was sitting on the bench on ESPN, but Tom Brady backing him up. So I've been stuck with Brady, without Brees for a bit, but now he's back and I'm looking good.
Yeah, I feel you.
But I did pull up the all-time sack leaders in a single season. We have Michael Strahan with 29.
29 in a season? I was way off. Really?
Oh. No. 22 and a half.
Oh, I was
going to say 29 is crazy.
Ow.
I don't know what that number is.
That's insane.
But in second, we have Jared Allen.
He was on the Vikings and the Chiefs.
Yes.
He was a beast back in the day. He always used to rock the mullet.
Number 69, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then Mark Gastineau with 22. He's a 1984 New York Jets player.
I thought Watt was close.
So we have Justin Houston at 4 with 22 with the Kansas City Chiefs in 2014. J.J. Watt is pretty low. It's 20 and a half for Houston in 2012 and 2014. So
what does that rank?
I don't understand why they don't have all the ranked numbers on here. Hold on, give me a sec. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So he's got 2 records for 9 and 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we misspoke. I guess J.J. Watt isn't even close to that.
I know.
record.
But Michael Strahan, you guys were right about Michael Strahan being at the top. Do you guys want to get right in? Was there any other topics?
Really quick, I just want to get your guys' opinion. Cam Newton was placed on IR this week.
Down goes Superman.
Down goes Superman for the season, and I would argue that it might possibly be for his Carolina career. Yeah. I think he's playing for another team next year.
People think it's the Bears.
I would hope so.
I could see that.
I think that'd be a good
I think
fit.
that's what you said last week, right? Yeah.
I was like, that'd be a perfect fit, honestly.
But now I'm starting to hear it more after you said that. So look at Jason.
Space.
Yeah, Jason right on the nail right
Jason called that one.
Yeah.
But it's not final yet. So, I mean, everyone loves Cam. I don't know if you guys are iffy about him, but I've always been a big fan of Cam Newton even since Auburn, the whole Superman thing. I even posted about it when I heard about his IR situation. So it sucks to see him move on, but as long as he gets time to rest now and get back to final form, Dragon Ball Z reference, then we will see him strive in another team.
Yeah, I mean, I love Cam. I just love the way he approaches the game. Like, he just sees it as like fun. Like, he loves to do it. He loves to play football, and that's something that kind of is missing sometimes in the game. You like to see your guys having fun out there, celebrating and enjoying their time on the field. It kind of sucks to see him not on there.
I agree. I totally agree. All right, so that's it with the NFL
we can go
topics.
into our picks now.
Yeah, we'll go into our picks, and then we'll do our top 5 power rankings. So I'll start off with my picks. I have a midday game, the New York Giants versus the New York Jets. I have no idea why I chose this game, but I don't think anyone can predict that I will choose the Giants to win.
Wow.
So I will go with the New York Jets. I know that Le'Veon Bell is still questionable, but I think this is a game that the Jets can at least get a little bit comfortable with their schemes and come out with a W. And then my next pick is Monday Night Football. We have Seattle versus the 49ers, the undefeated 49ers. Jason,
Niner gang.
how do you feel about being undefeated
Honestly,
with your team? I mean, your supporting team.
I'm surprised by it, and I just don't want us to get too big of a head or, our ego swell up. I think we have a pretty humble team anyway, so hopefully we can pull a win out. Seattle's always been kind of like our kryptonite, so we'll see. I think Sherman's going to have a little revenge game. I'm just excited. I think it's going to be a pretty even matchup.
Guess what, Jason? I still haven't said my pick yet.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
The winner goes to the Seattle Seahawks, upsetting the 49ers, and no one stays undefeated in the season. I know. Look, we had the Patriots go down to the Ravens, and that was a heck of a game.
Mm-hmm.
But I just know for a fact there will be no team that goes undefeated this season.
I don't think they're going to go 16-0, but I don't think this is going to be their first loss.
Ooh, all right.
I'll say that.
Who do you think the first loss comes against then?
I honestly think it might be the Packers. I think it's a tough matchup for us. I mean, it's going to be a defensive game all day, and I don't know. Their secondary is locked down, and our receivers aren't that great. So, besides Emmanuel Sanders and Kittle, but other than that, that's two guys, and I don't think they're going to carry us. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be Packers. Will be the first L.
All right, there it is.
I'm
Jason
sure
said
Eric
it
would
first.
like that.
He put it out into the space.
Yes, there you go.
That happens, we know who to blame.
Alex?
All right, how about we start with tonight's game? The LA Chargers take on the Oakland Raiders at home. Kickoff for that scheduled 5 p.m. Pacific time. You can watch that on either the NFL Network, the NFL on Fox, or Amazon Prime Video. And I'm going to go ahead and take Los Angeles for this one. Oakland's secondary is really suspect, and Keenan Allen has been one of the best receivers in the NFL the last couple years. I know he's had a down year this year a little bit. Been dealing with the nagging, I believe, hamstring injury, but he's got to at some point return to form within the season. I think it's against this secondary.
Yeah, I agree. I was just telling Jason before we started the show that, this is a good team, a good matchup for both teams to, take jabs at each other. And I think, the Chargers have a higher ground because, they were slumped for a bit, but now they have carried themselves up to beat the Packers. So, I think the Chargers come up on that one.
Yeah, and they have that two-headed monster on their D-line with Bosa and Ingram, and they had a solid game against the Packers, so I think they're going to eat up that Raiders O-line.
Sheesh. Bosa.
What did you both think about the news that came out yesterday that was put to rest pretty quick by Dean Spanos? The Chargers were considering a move to London.
Oh, I saw you tweet about something about that, or you tweeted. Yeah.
I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, that would be that's a good idea, and let me tell you why. It's a good idea because you want to be so far away that when you have a home game, the other team is so darn tired and jet lagged that when they get there, you beat the crap out of them. Obviously, they'd have to put up with it too. But I think the weather permits a challenge for them because it rains a lot in London. People.
I mean, this is true, but I think they would get used to playing in the rain. I don't think it should be London though. They left a loyal fan base in San Diego.
Yeah, they did.
Go back.
Yeah, they should go back because there's no reason for them to leave besides Dean Spanos just not wanting to, I believe, pay for a new stadium. And
I had to throw an umbrella away
supposedly they were supposed to start one out here for the Chargers, but now that area is being used just to build houses.
Yeah, so nowhere LA.
Yeah, I don't think Dean Spanos really knows what the future of the Chargers is, but he smashed the rumor and put it out pretty quick that they're considering London.
I think they should move to St. Louis.
St. Louis.
The St. Louis Chargers.
Doesn't that sound good?
That's nice.
Right? It's like, hey, Rams, you can take LA. You beat us for sure. And then we just go to St. Louis and then just take your home ground.
What about the San Antonio Chargers?
Ooh.
I was thinking maybe the Oklahoma City Chargers.
Ooh, that's actually a good one. Yeah, that beats mine for sure. Yeah, but, one reason I guess it may not work out in London, and I did just contradict myself, and I will by saying this, rain doesn't go good with electricity.
I would say I feel like the players would have a little pushback too. They wouldn't have to they'd be away from their families for a long time. Yeah. Plus, having to move them out there, and then it matters how many games they're going to play there and the travel.
I like the idea of it,
same.
Because for me, I'm an all around sports fan. I love all sports. I'm not that soccer player out there that hates everything else except for soccer. I respect every sport possible and am capable of learning anything and rules, but to expand in another, country, it would be unanimous. Like maybe we could just start a league of its own at first, and then we start to crossbreed, maybe like a special playoffs or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that will be exciting to see for sure.
Well, it's good to grow the game, honestly. So.
Yeah. And I think there's rugby players over there, right?
Oh yeah.
Those rugby players will kick ass. I don't know if they can throw the ball, but
They can sure run it.
yeah,
They can sure kick it too.
exactly. Did we go over your picks?
Yeah. So for my 2 picks, I had Rams and Steelers. I think it's actually going to be a pretty even game. Rams are going to be missing Brandon Cooks, and honestly, I don't like the way they've been playing. They haven't looked that amazing to me, and Gurley hasn't really been that standout to me. So I'm gonna go Steelers with that one.
Ooh.
Steelers defense has been pretty solid. I think they can limit them to. All you got to do is shut down Cooper Kupp, and I mean that's about it. And then my other pick is Chiefs and Titans, which is gonna be another pretty close game. It matters if Mahomes plays. If he plays, I think they're gonna run away with that game. But if he's out, I think it'll be closer than a lot of people would assume it to be. Titans defense, their secondary is pretty good with Logan Ryan, Byard. Their linebackers are pretty good, Jayon Brown, Woodyard. I think it'll be a pretty even game, but I'm gonna give it to the Chiefs.
Okay, that's good. Good picks, guys, and good decisions.
Did you have any more picks?
No, that just had the Jets and the Giants versus the Seahawks and the 49ers.
I have 2 more, if willing.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so Detroit is going to Chicago, and I'm going to go ahead and just pick Detroit based off the fact that with the way they've looked, I do not trust the Bears' offense with Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback.
Nope.
And also their defense, it ranks 29th against tight ends, and TJ Hawkinson should probably have a pretty big night
Ooh.
against that secondary.
Hope so. He's on my fantasy team. So
Yeah, he's on
hopefully.
mine too, but he's been on the bench the last couple weeks. And my other pick is I have the New Orleans Saints versus the Atlanta Falcons. And I think this is kind of an easy pick. I'm going to go with the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Falcons have the 30th ranked defense against quarterbacks yards-wise. And with Drew Brees already getting his welcome back, getting into the swing of things game last week against Arizona. Oh, no, 2 weeks ago against Arizona. And then a bye this week. I think it's going to be perfect. Drew Brees is going to show us that he's back to form.
I
Throw
agree.
lights out. And then I also don't believe, what's wrong with the Falcons' offense? They're ranked 25th in total offense, and I don't see them having any sort of firepower to be able to match the Saints.
I think that the Falcons should get over Matt Ryan. They should go get RG3 and start lighting it up.
RG3.
RG3?
Dude, we already know that Lamar Jackson is the franchise now. In my opinion, the Ravens have been going crazy as of lately and now beating the Patriots. But I think obviously Lamar Jackson is better than RG3 in multiple senses, but I wouldn't discount RG3. Like I feel like he still has a lot in the tank. Like I really want to see him on another team.
But if you're the Ravens, wouldn't you want a safety net like RG3 because of the style of play?
Well, I see why they have
Yeah.
him there, but it just sucks to see a player that is capable of, yeah, and maybe it's good for him to see learn. Obviously, Lamar does a little bit more quick cuts than RG3. RG3's like if you give RG3 a sprint, he will take anyone for sure. Like he
had
had
the long strides.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was a track athlete too. So I'm just really excited to see the future of the Redskins, honestly. 'Cause we're just trash. We are just trash. Let's do power ranking, shall we?
Yeah.
Alex, you want to go first?
I do not. I'm going to think of mine right now.
I will go first then. Okay, look, Jason, I'm going. Wait, do I got to go 5-1, right?
That's what we usually
Okay.
do, 5-1. Yeah.
All right. I was about to say my number 1. At number 5, we have the New Orleans Saints. Last I had them in 4th place. But look, now that Drew Brees is back in the cut, and I think we're going to see Michael Thomas finally break out a little bit, especially against the Falcons like we were just talking. I think even if Drew was to go out for a couple of series or something like that, then you have Teddy Bridgewater, who has been still lighting it up. We're talking about backups here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a reliable backup. So I have them at number 5. the Patriots at number 4. I don't know how you.
4.
Yeah. Look, I think there's something wrong with the offense of the Patriots. Like, Tom Brady isn't Tom Brady, and if you catch my drift, like
I get what you mean. But
like, obviously people were worried about his age and can he do it again, and obviously he just dominated in the Super Bowl. But it's like the defense to me is the one that's most outstanding. But I mean, you got to say, like, defense does win championships in my opinion, but the offense has a lot to do with that, and I don't see it just yet. And the Ravens just put a beating on them, so I went with the Ravens at number 3. I think they're quickly climbing up, even though their record doesn't show, obviously, like the 49ers record. But Lamar Jackson is scary, and the Hollywood Brown is returning from an injury. I think he did play last week, just a tad bit. I could be wrong. I don't know if I played him in my fantasy team.
I thought he did play. Maybe limited?
Limited. I think it was
probably
limited. But, I'm excited to see what else he brings to the table, because with the rookie wide receivers, it's always exciting to see them show out. At number 2, we have the Packers. I know they lost to the Chargers, and they should probably drop very, very low. But I just couldn't escape the Packers. Maybe, sometimes we have some bad games, and if you're playing in L.A., then you might have a bad game, even though most of Los Angeles could say that they're Packer fans. I feel like maybe that stadium was a little bit more Packers than Chargers, could be, but the Packers still have it. But I got to give it up to you, Jason. At number 1, we have the 49ers. They're so far their defense has been the one that does the talking, but like I said, Seahawks will get a win on them this week, and we'll finally see Jimmy Garoppolo. I know I predicted that he would struggle against the Redskins, but maybe he'll struggle against the Seahawks.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll start off with my rankings now. At 5, I got the Green Bay Packers. They did drop for me. I mean, I had them at 3 last week, but they dropped 2 spots. I mean, that loss to Chargers is pretty deflating. I mean, with a team that had a lot of momentum going into that, I think that can kind of stop that. They are a good team, though. I mean, we'll see. I think I said earlier they're probably going to hand the 49ers their first L of the season, but we'll see how that is. 4, I got the Ravens. I mean, that win against the Patriots was a statement to the rest of the league, put everyone on notice that, I mean, their offense can hang with anyone. And Lamar Jackson is a potential MVP candidate, so I like the way they're playing. I think their defense has got just that much better with Marcus Peters. He's pretty solid. Hopefully he can rejuvenate his career a little bit. Yeah, and I like them at 4. 3, I got the Saints. I mean, I don't know how you have them at 5, but I like the Saints. I mean, with Drew Brees going forward, Kamara coming back, I mean, their offense is pretty dynamic. Their defense is top 3 in the league probably. And, I mean, they got Lattimore, who's going to shut down pretty much anyone's number 1 receiver.
I guess I forgot to just make a comment on, like, it just scares me, like, that, that still Drew Brees is still prone to, hurting his thumb. Like, that's just something
Fair enough.
that doesn't recover, in my opinion. Like, that's just something that would be playing in my head. But he's a future Hall of Famer, and if he's got the mentality that I don't, then hooray him.
And for 2, I got the Patriots. I mean, obviously they slid because of that loss from the number 1 spot, but their defense has been the most consistent. They are leading the league in takeaways too, so I mean, defense does win championships, plain and simple. And
quick question.
Yeah.
Stephon Gilmore or Richard Sherman?
You're going to make me do this.
Yeah.
I saw Richard Sherman. Doesn't he lead the league in the lowest passer rating when thrown to?
I don't care. I think Stephon Gilmore is better than him at this moment, but they are both balling it up. I gotta say.
I would say that too. I do love Sherman, obviously, but I'm gonna go with Gilmore too. Gilmore's more of an all-around corner. He can do everything. Obviously, Sherman is known for being like a big guy, press coverage, and I mean he can do. He's just not that fast anymore. Gilmore does have the speed on him, and he does get more takeaways. So like I'll give it to Gilmore.
It was itching me to ask you that like this whole week. This weekend.
I love Sherman, but I mean Gilmore for sure. And then number 1, my boys, the Niners. They've been playing out of their minds. I mean, everyone's saying, "Oh, can Garoppolo do this?" But I mean, we saw his last game. 4 TDs, 350 yards. I mean, I think that proved that he can make those throws, and he has been making those big clutch, big time throws where he's in the pocket getting pressured, making a move, stepping up, evading a tackle, and making a big throw. To end the game, he had two huge third down conversions. So I have a lot of faith in him and in the way Shanahan can scheme. I think they got it against Seattle, so we'll see.
I don't know. After you just said that to me, like I had this whole flash in my head that the 49ers will be like the next Patriots dynasty.
I hope.
Like I don't know why that just flashed in my head. Like I'm not trying to flip again, but we'll see.
Just think about Seattle's defense, and then you'll know. I mean, they're not that solid, so.
I low-key think the Ravens are the next dynasty.
Oh.
Low-key being built because they have kind of like an assassin squad of free agents on defense, and all of their offensive talent is young and on rookie contracts.
That's true.
Besides Mark Ingram.
Yeah, and their line is strong.
Right.
Their line is super strong.
That's actually a good topic right there of who will be the next dynasty team.
Oh, yeah, later on, I definitely want to get your guys' opinion who you think the MVP has been for the first half of the season.
All right, yeah.
But first, let me go over my picks. And for number 5, I have the Dallas Cowboys. Now, if Eric was here, I know he'd be mad at me for putting my 5-3 Dallas Cowboys ahead of his 7-2 Green Bay Packers. But I will say this. When Green Bay barely beat Dallas, Dallas was very injured. We didn't have Amari Cooper. We didn't have Michael Gallup. We did not have Demarcus Lawrence, and we did not have either of our left or right tackles. The Packers barely beat us. The Packers at full strength lost to the Chargers this weekend. I don't think the Packers have that mental. I don't think the Packers have that mental fortitude.
Man, I used to do that math all the time. I used to do that math all the time, but it still would just, look, if you're talking about any team in the NFC East, man, we're just not lucky at all right now.
We usually just beat each other up for the playoffs.
We're like, let's just kick ourselves in the foot. There you go.
Do you trust Dak?
Yes, I do.
100. You're all in on Dak.
I am 98% in it. The last 2% depends on this season.
You know what?
Fair enough.
You know what? I know I'm a Redskins fan, but I got to give you that. I think I am surprised that Zeke has not shown up, but Dak. Someone just showed me Dak's NFL log for fantasy football, and it has been according to it's been pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. So
yeah, and not only that, but Dak Prescott has one of the best passer ratings when he has a clean pocket. So if he's given enough time to throw the football, he shows he's probably one of the best decision makers in the NFL.
That's what's up.
Don't worry, Eric. Green Bay is pretty close at number 6 in my rankings.
6.
At number 4, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the New England Patriots. They have taken a tumble from number 2 from last week in my rankings.
We match.
Right. I've been saying all year Tom Brady, he's old. He's not the same quarterback he was just a couple years
nice
ago.
Way of saying it, Alex.
He's a robot.
He's old, He's on that TB12 method, trying to sustain his body as long as he can. But who does he have to throw it to? He has Julian Edelman and Mohamed Sanu.
James White.
They just got rid of Josh Gordon. James White, he's out the backfield. They have 5 running backs they use, so you don't know which one to use in fantasy.
I'm curious if he did a video, because normally after every game that they have won, obviously they were undefeated for a while, he's like, good win, baby!
That's true. Tom Brady was going hype on Instagram.
I don't know.
He's a weird guy, honestly. He's weird.
Yeah, I love him, though.
I would say the reason I have him 4th is because I don't see them winning the AFC as currently constructed. Number 3, I'm going to go ahead and go with the San Francisco 49ers. They're staying in the same spot.
Oh, 3.
Number
really?
3. Yeah, your guys' defense is
I'm pretty
awesome.
surprised on that too, Alex.
We're undefeated. Give us our respect.
The Patriots, once the Patriots lost the game, that's it. The 49ers are crowned the veil.
I can't think of
so.
2 teams better than them. Come
I
on.
can.
Let's
I can
hear it.
definitely.
Let's hear it.
You want to hear number 2?
Yes.
Baltimore Ravens.
2 is the Ravens?
2 is the Ravens.
Oh, the Niners are going to play the Ravens later in the season.
We'll figure out who's number 2 and number 3 right there. Yeah, I just think Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, that's a key element that you don't know if he's going to pull it down and run. And without that element, defenses don't know what to do or how to prepare.
That's fair. Fair.
And I see that style, especially with Mark Ingram and Lamar Jackson averaging over 200 yards a game for the Ravens. I just see that working really well in the playoffs. Okay. I actually they're my favorite for the AFC. I think they're going to the Super Bowl.
I'll get that to you.
number one is the New Orleans Saints.
I knew it. Yeah. Well, who
They've
else?
been number one for me like for the last, I think, since we started this podcast.
Since the beginning.
Yeah.
I just think that they haven't missed a beat. No matter who's at quarterback, they're playing lights out.
All right.
Alvin Kamara is coming back. Latavius Murray has shown he is a baller as that pound the rock, tough bruising running back. Perfect combination back for Alvin Kamara. I think they're going to do a lot this
Don't
year.
forget about Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say
Can't
Michael
sleep on Mike
Thomas, too.
Thomas, man.
One of
Yeah.
the best wide receivers in the NFL.
You make good points. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, Ravens and Saints are honestly the two teams I'm worried about. With the Niners, those teams, their style of play kind of offsets our defense. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't wait for that Niners Ravens game.
Dude, it's gonna be such a good.
It's going to be
game.
a good game because we're gonna see if Lamar Jackson can actually match up with a younger quarterback, that's on a good team.
Mm-hmm. And actually, a underrated thing is Quan Alexander out for the rest of the season with that torn pec.
Was he on the Bucks?
Niners, baby.
Niners? Oh, okay.
He's been having. I mean, he was playing out of his mind. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm worried about that because we have a rookie going in and starting at linebacker, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Was there one more last? You said one more last subject, or you're good?
Oh, who do you think
Yeah.
the first half of the NFL season MVP should be?
If it's going to be the first half, I've got to give it to Christian McCaffrey. Like, obviously, like, as of recent, like, kind of we're in the middle, kind of. Like, Lamar is kind of like the middle MVP, and now he joins the race. But it was between Russell Wilson and Christian McCaffrey at first. But I think I got to give it to Christian McCaffrey if we're talking about the first half.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is my choice. I mean, he's had an outstanding year. I have his stats right here. Russell Wilson, he leads the NFL in passer rating at 118.2. He has four fourth quarter comebacks this year alone, and he's thrown 22 touchdowns to only one interception.
God, that's amazing.
It's crazy. Just one interception through 9 weeks of the NFL. It's the highest passer rating for a quarterback to have both that high of a passer rating and lead the NFL in touchdowns since Tom Brady in 2010 when he won the MVP.
Yeah.
I'm going with Russell Wilson too, honestly. He's been playing out of his mind, and he doesn't really have that many weapons besides Lockett. And then I guess now they have Gordon too. So I mean, that's pretty impressive what he's been doing.
Do you guys remember just from a couple years ago when the Seahawks were like that fringe playoff team after the Legion of Boom, and we would tune in or watch the highlights, and it just seemed like Russell Wilson every time he dropped back was running for his life to make some sort of play every single time. He doesn't have to do that anymore, and I think he's showing you when he doesn't have to do that and create every single play with both his legs and his arms, that he can really take care of the football, even though he already has a great track record for that throughout his career.
I miss Cam Chancellor.
I don't. He would absolutely light up any receiver on the Niners or running backs too, but he was a terrifying person on the football field.
In my opinion, the closest person to a Sean Taylor, like, I mean, I would think Landon Collins too, but for me, like in the past couple of years, the closest person to a Sean Taylor.
Yeah. Dude,
Scary.
Bam Bam Cam, man. That hit he put on Vernon Davis, I felt that in my soul.
It was a trigger, sorry.
It's fine.
All right, let's move on to NBA talk, shall we? Jason, you wanted to talk about Kawhi and him sitting out against the Greek Freak?
Yeah, it's been a pretty hot topic in NBA. He did sit out due to load management, which is kind of a trending like word or phrase in the NBA. I just want to know your guys' thoughts on that.
My question is it load management or is he dealing with a knee injury? Because if I have it correct, I believe the Clippers have him listed with knee soreness or some sort of knee injury, and that's the official reason why he's out.
That is, I mean, I feel like they want to put that as, like, they label it as knee soreness because if you put it just strictly as load management, then people are going to have, like,
And I believe the team will be fined if they do it too many times as well.
So I think that's their way of kind of like finding a loophole to let him sit out. And also I think it's on him too. I mean, if it was up to Clippers, like they'd be like play all 82. But I think because he has knee issues that they need to do a load management with him. This is your star player. This is a big investment that you guys had. And you look even to last year. He only played 62 games last year in the regular season. And I mean, we all saw what happened in the finals. He looked like he was the most healthy player out there on the floor. I mean, he was dominating every single game. And that goes to show, like, if you let your guys rest a little bit, they'll be there when you need them most. So, because no one, I mean, in April, no one's going to be like, oh, remember that time when Kawhi sat out a game against the Milwaukee Bucks? Like, that's not going to matter when you're in the playoffs. Winning in the playoffs is what matters. Regular season doesn't really matter that much.
What do you think about from the fans' perspective? And Nathan, I kind of want to get your perspective on this too.
Yeah.
I've personally gone to games where Laker games, when Lonzo Ball was the star, didn't play, sat out.
Yeah.
I've gone to Laker games where LeBron James was a star last year, didn't have Anthony Davis. It was LeBron James and that ragtag group of free agents.
Yeah.
LeBron James sat out for load management as well. So
For me, I mean, like, yeah, I've been really disappointed about, certain players not being at the game. But on the NBA side, I think it's a perfect strategic thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think since there's so many games, like, it's good to be strategic with your roster. Like, it doesn't hurt because you're prolonging, one, their careers. Two, you're getting healthier players towards the end of the season. And these players, they're running back and forth for 4 quarters every single game, sometimes back-to-back nights. That's strain. We forget the human aspect of the game because we've seen the greats do it, like Michael Jordan, who has pushed himself through sickness. But you have to trust in people like Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, who put up 34 points each. And I think like this game that Kawhi misses. Obviously, Milwaukee has been a dominating team in the past 2 years because of the Greek Freak. It's no surprise to me that we lost. We're not. We're like I said, all the players are human. As much as we come up with these amazing names like the Greek Freak, even him is, that's poor choice of words, but even he's human. So like, I understand, and I don't take it personally when sure I'm upset at first because I came to see that player, I came to see Kobe, and he wasn't there, and then I came back and I got to see him eventually, but it's just. You got to appreciate their greatness while they're here. Like, I guess the only one that I would probably cry my eyes over, and this is like shifting sides to a different sport, if I pay a ton of money to see Barcelona play and I don't see Messi, like, I won't like throw a fit and get upset on social media, but I would probably be like emotionally damaged.
do you think that someone, either the league or the sports team, should be responsible for giving out some sort of refund for not, because that is an idea that's been floated out there.
I think they should. I'm not gonna say refund the whole ticket, but I mean give them a discount, like maybe $15-$20 off. It's like I get that you're going to the game to see your favorite player, and you might not be able to go to a game or a lot of games during the season. You shell out the money to be there to see your favorite player, and that sucks as a fan. Like that hurts. But it's like, yeah, I do think the team should refund a little bit of money, or maybe even give them like a discount in the future on another ticket or something to have them come back.
I was thinking of this. Why don't the teams, if let's say both Kawhi and Paul George are out and there's no star for a Clipper game you go to, right? Why don't they give you a same value seat for a different game sometime later in the future? I know it'd be tough.
Yeah.
But that might be. I mean, that's probably better than giving out refunds.
Also, I think it's also in the best interest of the fan, like, to be smart about it. Like, if you're a real fan, one, you'll support your team no matter what.
Exactly.
Two, you could pay attention to the news and sports news and like, oh, okay, he's most likely out. I'll sell my ticket to someone that's gonna smile at the game.
True.
You know, I'd give it to someone who would be grateful to at least be at a Clipper game, or like I've been to a Clipper game before back in the day. So it's like someone gave me those tickets. It was some lady in the front office one time, and I was like, yeah, it's my first experience.
Yeah.
You know.
I think from a fan's perspective, it hurts that you can't see your favorite player play, but think about it in the long run. Like, you're going to want him to be healthy later on in the season. That's what really matters. You care about the team as a whole, not just one guy. But, I mean, yeah, it sucks to be a fan sometimes. We don't always get what we want.
Yeah. And for the health of the players, I don't mind. I really don't.
Definitely.
Also, I wanted to mention that Paul George will be returning to full contact practice this Saturday, November 9th. And currently, if we're looking at the Los Angeles teams, we see the Lakers in first place, sitting at 6-1 in the West, and they're on a 6-game win streak. If I can just mention, the Clippers are 5-3 in sixth place with one loss against the Greek Freak.
We can't forget about LeBron James. Their last game, the Lakers came back from behind, I believe from 19 down, and beat the Chicago Bulls 118-112. LeBron had his third straight game with a triple double.
Yep.
It's tied for the longest streak in his career of straight games with a triple double, and it's the first time a Lakers player has had 3 straight triple doubles since March and April of 1987 when Magic Johnson had 4 straight.
I came up with an idea. If LeBron misses a game, everyone gets 2 tacos for free.
Taco Tuesday.
You got to be creative with these things, right? I mean, if LeBron can come up with that phrase, or what is
he
it?
trying to
Patent it?
Copyright? Or
Yeah, something along the lines.
I mean, if we're being completely honest, LA fans have been chanting "We want tacos" for over 15 years. So,
you're not wrong. All right. Okay, so before we leave the NBA topics, were there any last things you wanted to shine some light on?
Really quick,
Yeah.
the NBA is suspending. I don't know if you guys saw this.
Collins?
Atlanta Hawks center John Collins, 25 games. He violated the anti-drug policy, and he tested positive for a growth hormone.
Same thing happened with DeAndre Ayton on the Suns. He was suspended for 25 games. This happened last week too.
That's such a touchy subject because it's like, I get that it's like would it be considered a PED, a performance-enhancing drug? Because or could it be like something with his health? Because, we don't know what goes on with people's bodies and stuff.
Well, I believe with DeAndre Ayton, he got suspended for taking a diuretic, which NBA players are not allowed to take per the substance abuse policy. I don't know why, because supposedly, this is according to Ayton, he just took water pills that happened to have something that was banned.
What's a water pill? Why don't you just drink water?
Well, water pill, it's something that mimics drinking water. It helps you retain water, or it helps you lose water.
Your hydration,
it helps
stay
helps you
hydrated?
keep water running through, so you don't retain water weight.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
I only know that because I work at CVS.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they can do without him. I mean, obviously he's a key player, and I think a lot of my fantasy basketball peeps in the group message were pretty upset with that situation. But Trey, he's doing fantastic. He's a star.
Yeah. I think someone who's gonna step up in light of Collins' absence is Jabari Parker.
Okay.
A lot of people, kind of wrote him off after those knee injuries and multiple knee injuries. I think 3 times he tore his ACL. I mean, but that guy can ball.
I honestly
Bottom
forgot
line.
he was in the league.
Yeah,
It's been so long since I heard his name.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think with the NBA, you have a chance to reemerge from the depths of being injured. I mean, we look at Derrick Rose, we look at Howard, even Isaiah Thomas recently. He's got a starting job back with the Wizards. It's interesting to see.
Yeah, I think going forward, it's always nice to see those players, jump right back into it.
Yeah.
Especially Isaiah Thomas. For me, growing up, I've always been a big fan of the short player because they made me think that I could play a Spud Webb, a Nate Robinson,
Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah, everyone, man. You got to give props to all the short guys because they inspired me growing up. I was really short growing up. I still am
Same.
pretty short. But was that it for NBA? Because we're down to our last topic, which is MLB, and the MLB season is over, but we want to just congratulate the Washington Nationals because we missed last week's episode, but we wanted to just, shout out to the Nationals. They did it. They beat the unbeatable, I think, in my opinion. Everyone was hoping that the Houston Astros would win it all because they had a dominating season and they had a dominating postseason, especially against the Yankees, but for them to go down to the Nationals, what do you guys think about that?
I was extremely surprised,
Uh-uh.
honestly. I mean, but I think with baseball, a lot of the thing is the hot team, they're gonna ride that, and that's gonna carry on forever. How long until the end of the postseason? They were hot. Nationals got hot, and it didn't stop.
Yeah.
They're hitting. They had timely hitting, which is huge. I mean, it's not all about home runs. It's about those base hits, those walks, those long at bats. I mean, they did it. They pulled it out.
They had a lot of timely home runs as well.
That's true, though. Yeah, that's true.
A lot. Rendon was killing the ball.
Eaton had a big home run.
Howie Kendricks even.
Yeah.
Put that dagger in our Dodgers. So.
Did you want to bring up what Suzuki did?
I mean, we could mention it. I don't really have an opinion on it, but I mean.
I do, but I probably shouldn't say what it is.
I mean, so yeah, Nationals were at the White House, and Kurt Suzuki went up to the podium, and as he approached the podium, he put on a "Make America Great Again" hat.
I wonder if that's just a pandering thing, maybe he had to. You know?
I don't know. He seemed pretty happy. He threw up the little shaka, the Hawaiian symbol, and Trump gave him a hug.
He did?
Yeah, he went up from behind and gave him a very, very awkward embrace, and it did not look very natural at all.
like-
Well, if it was from behind,
Yeah.
you know, people usually don't hug people from behind.
It looked weird, but I mean, I don't have anything to say about it. We'll just leave it at that.
Well, we shall leave it at that. But that wraps up this episode of On the Pitch. Was there anything you guys wanted to get off your chest before we end it here?
I think we should just give ourselves some quick Instagram, Twitter handle shout outs really quick so people can know where they can get more content from us. I am on both Twitter and Instagram as at Alex_JR_Topete. You spell Topete Topete.
And then on Instagram, I am at The State of Nate. And then on Twitter, I am at Nathan Scott Show.
Yeah, and you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at jmoneymilanes. Milanes is spelled Milanes.
And that has been this episode of On the Pitch, the Mount Sac Sports Media Podcast.
Thank you guys for listening.